Even though the market has been quiet the past few days, I've been out there scouring for opportunities, and today I'm going to bring you guys a new coin by the name of Seraph and explain to you why I think this is going to have some great potential going forward. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that I'm not pricing the potential in what we have today because narratives evolve and news comes out and things develop. My goal here is to figure out what may catch fire based on what I think is coming in the future based on what I'm seeing right now. So yes, right now, Seraph might be trading at a $1 million market cap and may seem like it is a useless agent, but that's because the market hasn't priced in what's to come. And what's to come is a long list of catalysts that are going to ignite the whole space on fire. Now, Seraph isn't going to go to higher market caps on its own. It's going to do so because the altcoin market cap is going to increase, and along with it, it will raise the market cap of all these agents as long as they have a strong narrative. So let's understand the fundamentals of Seraph. So Seraph is an autonomous AI agent powered by Virtuals and Bittensor. So it's got two strong narratives right off the bat. Seraph is a guardian of AI agent authenticity. So essentially what this agent will be doing is verifying whether something is AI or whether it is authentic. And in today's world, AI is getting better and better each day. It's harder to tell what is real and what is not. Now, important thing to highlight here is that it's built on Bittensor. Now, if you guys don't know, Bittensor is currently ranked at rank 50, valued at $3 billion. And at the end of the cycle, I wouldn't be surprised to see this ranked at number 10, valued around $50 to $70 billion, around that area as AI reaches its peak hype. So if that happens, a lot of the agents and subnets on Bittensor are going to be appreciating in value. Now, if we go over here to Tau subnets, we can take a look at the different number of subnets we have here arranged by market cap. We have number 1 being root, 2 shoots, ridges, and you can invest in these subnets as well using your Tau tokens, or you can invest on agents that are plugged into these subnets, which is what I've opted to do. Now, from what I know, there's huge inflation on these tokens, and obviously there's different teams running these tokens. So the first one I want to talk about real quick is going to be Score. Now, a lot of you guys may have heard of Score, but aren't aware that you've heard of it through Sire. Because what Sire does is it plugs into the Score subnet to get a lot of its information. And what is Sire? Well, Sire is a world's first agentic DeFi AI on-chain sports betting hedge fund powered by Bittensor subnet 44. And if we go here and check out this memo by Unsupervised Capital, you can see here subnet 44 on Bittensor. And this is a memo here detailing why they've invested in Score. Now, I'm not going to go and read all this because there's a ton of information out there, but they're just outlining the reason why they think there's potential in this token. And they're not talking about Sire. Nope, they're talking about the actual subnet, which is right here. I think it's number 9. Nope, it's number 9. Right there, you guys can see it over there, number 9. And our token, the one we're going to be talking about for Seraph, is at number 11. So they're very close to each other in market cap, not too far off. You can see here, Score's worth 20, and you got BitMind at 16. Now, I want to highlight the difference in market caps between Seraph, which is currently sitting at $1 million market cap, and then I want to highlight the difference of Sire at 21 million. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. One of the reasons is Sire is getting a lot more traction on the marketing side. A lot of people are talking about this on Twitter, and prediction markets are huge as a narrative right now. So yes, the boat might have been missed on the lower cap side to grab this back in February, but that doesn't mean we can't learn from what made this run and potentially capitalizing on these opportunities, because I think Seraph has the same ingredients as Sire does. It's got a stack team, and I'll talk about that team in a bit here. But I also want to highlight this memo for BitMind investment that came out September 16th. So just yesterday, they put out a memo about BitMind and why they're going to be investing in it, similar to how they did for Score. So I've read through it, and you guys can read it too. I'll leave a link in the description below. But basically, the tech on BitMind is superior to their competition, and there's a huge need for this tech going to the next few years. They say that there's going to be a $40 billion industry for BitMind to tap into, and Seraph is going to be able to capitalize on that through BitMind and Bittensor subnets. Now, here's a great thread on I'm Zoomboy, and he highlights a lot of important things to take note of the Seraph agent over here. I'm going to skip over some of the stuff as I've already mentioned it, but I am going to share some important snippets. Now, one thing I want to highlight here is the team, because they are stacked.
This is the team. Myself, I introduced myself already. I'm Ken, I'm one of the co-founders of BitMind. Dylan's our head of AI. Khan's our head of engineering. Karya's head of ops and legal. An absolute killer team of engineers. Eli's full stack. Andre is back end. Andrew and Ben are AI guys. Alexi's doing our Web3 work, and Naz is, pumping out the tweets, helping us with the marketing stuff. And I think something that's really great is, we actually come from a really impressive set of companies, both from AI and Web3. You see NVIDIA, NASA, AWS, but we worked together in the past.
So you guys can see they've got a stacked team with a lot of credentials on there. You can see NASA, AWS, like you mentioned, near NVIDIA, and I forgot what this protocol is right there. But they've got a completely capable team to build this out. And as you guys can see from this BitMind memo, you can see that they have a 90% accuracy for their tech. You can see Reality Defender, the next in line, coming at 70%. So they've got a much better benchmark compared to their competition, which is great to see. Now I'm going to show you another, guys, a practical video on why this tech is needed, because you guys might be unaware of what this authenticity agent exactly does.
Deepfakes are way scarier than you think, and it's starting to become impossible to tell what's real. What started as a novelty tech that swapped Nicolas Cage into random movies has evolved into something far more sinister. And the terrifying truth is that we're completely unprepared for what's coming next. They can shake up our society as they pose serious risks to cybersecurity, financial fraud, and election integrity.
That's just a quick highlight. This is going to be extremely important going in the future, because we're going to need tech to help us verify what is real and what isn't. And as AI gets better, it gets harder and harder to do. So this is the kind of narrative that's going to be coming up in the future as AI begins to run and people look for gems. They're going to be looking for strong narratives. And this is 100% a strong narrative. We need to be able to verify real versus fake. So right now, it's not currently hot because people are not willing to take risk on. But that's going to change once alt season comes. We're betting on the fact that people are going to be looking for things to invest in with strong narratives. And this one just ticks all the right boxes. But here's a couple other important points from the thread. Seraph plugs into subnet 34, where miners compete to build the best detectors. The pool becomes Seraph's trust engine, world-class miners, DeepMind, Midjourney, Tensora. So it pulls off the pool, as he's talked about, from the subnets available in subnet 34. And as we mentioned, it acts as a truth verifier for AI content. And then there's a lot of technical details here, which you guys can dive into on the thread if you'd like. But another point here to take a look at is September is a turning point. They mentioned there's going to be a huge announcement coming out for Seraph as a V2 version they've been working on since May or June. So it's been a couple of months in the pipeline, and hopefully we'll see an update by the end of this month. We're currently halfway or more than halfway in September. So I do expect this to come soon, which is going to help with the price appreciation on Seraph, as we got some interest with the buy the rumor, sell the news. And now if the news is going to be substantial, I do expect price appreciation to continue on Seraph. Now, one thing I want to mention here as well is that a lot of people tend to be reactive to price. And one example is going to be Santa. I've been talking about Santa on my channel for a long time. I've talked about how it's in the center of ACP and how it's going to help agents collaborate, but people weren't interested because they're chasing green candles. The thing is, these green candles will come in fast and strong. And as you guys can see here, a massive green candle came in through this announcement, as you guys can see, as an early Coinbase X402 protocol adopter and partner contributing to Google's agentic payments. Questflow is building the bridge for the next generation of AI agents. And off the announcement that Google has become a launch partner to Questflow, which has helped build Santa, the market reacted the price this way, and now everyone is talking about Santa. So I do expect the same thing is going to happen to Seraph as people start to connect the dots. We're just here early connecting the dots thanks to a lot of people on Twitter and while doing the research ourselves. And I do think we're going to get the same appreciation on Seraph as we have seen on Santa, and we'll continue to see as we move into the altcoin cycle. Now, I do expect tokens like Seraph and Santa to head into the tens of millions, potentially hundreds of millions, but it does require the AI agent sector to take off on its own as well. I do expect the AI sector to reprice upwards of 50 to 100 billion, even higher than that, and head towards these ranges upwards to about 200 billion on the high end. And that's what I'm expecting here. And if one of these protocols simply captures 0.25 or 0.5% of the AI market, we're going to see them repriced to 100 to 200 million in market cap. So these things can happen really fast. Liquidity is really thin on these coins, so it doesn't take much money to pump it, as you guys can see. But I do think in the coming months, once we get the capital flowing in on altcoins, we're going to see some appreciation and repricing for valuable agents that provide infrastructure. So Santa is one with the narrative here. We've also got the narrative building for BitMind, as we have Unsupervised Capital putting out a memo for this, and they put out a memo for Score, which is tied to Sire. So I do expect Seraph to reprice similar to how Sire has in the recent weeks. We just need the right narrative to come along, and then once that happens, the price will take care of itself. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we're simply waiting for the fireworks to light. It is a patience game. We just have to wait until the right time comes along. And then the hardest thing to do for us is to actually sell when we get to these ridiculous targets up here. Seraph already got to about 35 million on its peak, and I expect it to be overtaking in the coming months as we get those narratives online. So with that said, guys, I will see you on the next video.